everyone, so today I have a book haul for you guys, and I figured I would do this video in Halloween attire because it is Halloween today, and so I figured it would make this video a little bit more fun and interesting. And this year I am a bumblebee, if you guys hadn't figured out from my costume yet. And these books are books that I've gotten in the last few weeks / months. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the hardback books that I've gotten these last few weeks. And the first one that I got was All These Things I've Done by Gabriel Zevin, author of Elsewhere. And I really like this cover. It's really, really pretty. I don't know if this is the original cover or if this is the cover change that they've done, but I know that I think this might be the original cover actually, because I know that there's other versions of this book that has a picture of a girl with really short black hair on the cover. So I think this is the original cover that was made when these books first came out. And from what I understood, it's supposed to be about this society or civilization where coffee and chocolate are illegal, that there is very little water, and that paper is scarce and things like that. And it's about a girl named Anya, and her family is some sort of mob family, I want to say, and so she is debating whether or not she wants to follow in her family's footsteps and continue in this family business, or kind of just do her own thing and not have anything to do with that. This next book I picked up, I actually picked up a few weeks ago, and it's relatively new, and this book is Breathe. Hopefully you guys can get a pretty good view of this book. I know there's a little bit of a glare. And this is Breathe by Sarah Crossan, and it says on the top right here, it takes a lot of air to break free. And it's essentially about these three young kids, Alina, Quinn, and Bea, or Bay, B-E-A. These three kids, 2 girls and 1 boy, and they live in this, I don't know if I want to say society or civilization, but they live in this period of time where there is very little air, and so they're confined in this kind of like dome where there's air there, and they can't really leave, they can't really go anywhere because there isn't enough oxygen for them to travel outside of that dome to these other unknown places. And so people are basically just stuck in that area. And so these 3 characters decide that they want to break out of that dome and explore what's going on outside and just get out. And so since there isn't enough oxygen in the world as it is, they're kind of just racing against time to see whether or not they can actually make it to this unknown destination that they're trying to get to. So it sounded really interesting. The first thing that popped into my head when I read this synopsis was, well, where did all the air go? What's wrong with the air? And so that definitely got my attention, and I kind of wanted to know what was going to happen in this story. This next book that I picked up is The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa, and I love this cover. It looks really, really badass. You've got the girl on the front cover with her eye that's red. I'm assuming that she's a vampire because she has a red eye, but you never know. This is the same author that has written the Iron Face series. I haven't read anything by this author, but a lot of the people who have read her Iron Face series say that it's an awesome series, and then if they've also read her newest book, The Immortal Rules, they also say that it's a really, really good book. So I picked it up based on that. Not so much because it's about vampires and things, because I've been trying to stay away from vampires and werewolf books because I'm honestly sick and tired of seeing them around. Ever since Twilight came out, everyone has just been deciding to write about vampires and werewolves, and it's just kind of annoying at this point. So I decided that I would pick this book up anyway and just see what it was all about, and hopefully I would like it. I'm hoping that it's different than all of the other vampire and werewolf, well, vampire books that are out there. From what I understood, it's about a girl named Allison Sakamoto who is a human, and she is one of the last, not last humans, but she is one of the last few humans in this city because apparently they've been wiped out because the vampires need them to survive. They use them as food, suck their blood. And so she is one of the last few humans left in this city. And then she ends up getting turned into a vampire. She was apparently on the verge of dying and she chose to live, so she gets turned into a vampire. And so now she has to kind of learn what it's like to be a vampire and just live by these rules and just adapt to being a vampire. So this next book that I picked up is J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy. And this book is pretty heavy. I didn't expect this book to be as heavy as it is, but it's pretty heavy and the font is pretty small. So this book is gonna be, a long read, I have to say, because it has really small font and it's pretty heavy. It's about almost 500 pages. It's 500 pages. So this is gonna be a pretty long book. I loved her Harry Potter series. Harry Potter is one of my all-time favorite books ever. And so when I found out that she was coming out with a new book, I had to get it. I figured if her Harry Potter series was so amazing, then this book should be just as amazing, if not more. I know that it's not a young adult, middle grade kind of book. It's more of for an adult audience. But I figured if she's such an amazing author, then she can write anything. And so that's one of the reasons why I got it, just to see what her style of writing could come up with next and just to see what she would come up with in this book. I don't know too much about this book except that it's about an older guy. I think he might be some sort of politician or something like that. And he dies, and then it focuses more on this group of teenagers and this neighborhood and living in this society or something like that. I'm not really sure. This next book, which is a book that I am currently reading, is Insurgent by Veronica Roth. And I love this cover also. It's so pretty. I think that this is the Amity symbol for the Amity. And I'm actually currently reading this. I am almost done with it. I think I have about a quarter left. I'm on chapter 37, and it's pretty good so far. It's a really, really good read. I also read Divergent. I don't think I included that in my previous book haul, and I kind of forgot to put it in this book haul, but I did buy Divergent, and so now I'm currently reading Insurgent, and it's a really, really good book. These next few books that I've picked up are paperback books, and I've gotten them in the last few weeks, maybe month or two, and this book is Gone by Michael Grant. This is another author that I haven't read anything by. The majority of these books that I've picked up, I haven't read anything by these authors, but they are the kind of books that everyone has already read and have said that it's really, really good and are really good series. So I kind of picked up all of these books because I haven't read them yet and everyone is talking about them and is like on the 5th book of these series. So I felt like I kind of had to pick these up and get to reading them because I feel like I'm like one of the last few people that hasn't read any of these books. So this is another author that I haven't read yet. This series is about a group, well, not a group, but it's about this mysterious disappearance of this mysterious disappearance of adults, and all that is left is all of these kids, and these kids end up having some sort of mysterious powers, and they're basically just trying to survive in this new world without parents and adults. And it sounded pretty interesting. I haven't had a chance to pick it up and start reading it yet. There are so many books that I have that I need to start reading that I haven't been able to get to this book yet, but it sounds like a pretty cool series. There's like 5 or 6, maybe even more books in this series, and I'm just starting this first one. So yeah. So this next book that I picked up, I'm really, really, really excited about reading because I've been wanting to read this book for forever, ever since I heard an audio clip of it on audible.com. It was so cool to me that everyone in this society could hear each other's thoughts, including the animals, that I had to pick it up. And this book is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Now, this is the second time that I buy this book. Second time. Because the first time I got it and my mother's dog decided that he wanted to have it as a snack. So he ate the entire cover of the book and then chewed on the corners, and I couldn't read the first chapter of the book. The book was completely destroyed, and I finally got around to buying it again maybe in the last month or so. And so now I have a second copy. I haven't gotten around to reading it, but I'm really, really excited about reading this book because it sounds so cool. This next book I picked up, I think like a few days ago, and this is Ascend by Amanda Hawking. And I've read the first 2 books. I don't think I included that in a haul, but I did read the first 2 books, and this is the last book that I haven't read. I actually have been meaning to buy this sooner so I can do a book review on all of the books in the series, but I really did like the first 2 books in the series. It was pretty interesting. It's about trolls, and it's about a girl that turns out to be a princess in this troll society, and it's different. It's definitely different. It's not about vampires or werewolves or unicorns or mermaids or aliens or anything like that. So it was really interesting when I read it. These next 2 books are in the same series. They're not in order, but they are in the same series, and I actually got these books from my mother-in-law. She had these 2 huge stacks of books that she was getting ready to donate to Goodwill, and I offered to take them for her since they had been sitting there for months. And so I started rummaging through the bags that she had, and I found these 2 books. I'd actually been meaning to buy them and read them. My husband actually has read this entire series, and he says it's a pretty good series. And I take his word for it because I have read a few books that he has recommended, like the Game of Thrones, and that has turned out pretty well. So when he said that these books were really good, you know, I added it to my list of books to read, and so I wanted to read them. And ironically, these 2 books are books that I found in that stack that she was getting ready to give away. And these books are The Lightning Thief, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. So this is the first book. And then I also have The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan, and then this is the 4th book, I think it is. So I got the first one and I got the 4th one. Now I just need all the other ones in this series. So this concludes my book haul for this fall, winter period of time. I'm going to try not to buy any more books, but I always say that. I always say that I'm not going to buy any more books, and I always end up buying more books. And I honestly think that my husband is starting to get annoyed with me because I have so many books that I keep buying, and I have so many books that I need to read that I just haven't gotten around to reading. So I'm going to try my hardest not to buy any more books until I get to reading the books that I already have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to wish you guys a happy Halloween. Hope you guys have tons of fun dressing up and going out and getting candy and partying and things like that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!